Okay, so you want to go deep on SEI investments, right? You've handed us a stack of their 10Ks, years 2020 to 2023.
And these things are gold.
Oh, yeah. Way more telling than those glossy annual reports.
You really get a feel for how a company thinks, how they see the world, even where they're a little,
Nervous.
Exactly.
So for anyone who hasn't spent their Friday nights with a pile of 10Ks,
You're missing out.
these reports are basically a company's annual filings with the SEC, super detailed info on their business and financials.
Required reading if you want to understand a company inside and out.
And SEI, they're global. Tech-driven wealth and investment solutions. That's their game.
Big players.
Okay, so first impression, flipping through these reports. They are obsessed with innovation, constantly talking about R&D, especially for this thing they call the SEI Wealth Platform, SWP.
Yeah, that's their baby.
Over 10% of their revenue goes right back into R&D. That's commitment.
Shows you where their heads are at long term.
And long-term relationships are huge for them, too. They brag about having clients for decades.
Not just hopping from trend to trend, that builds trust.
And it pays off. By 2023, get this, they're managing, advising on, or administering, get ready, $1.4 trillion in assets.
Trillion. With a T.
Yeah. Someone's got to be managing all that money. So how do they actually make it? What's the SEI money-making machine?
It's not what you might think. It's not about them playing the stock market and raking in returns. They're all about fees.
Fees.
They're like that expert financial advisor you hire, right?
Right.
You pay them for their guidance, their management, regardless of whether the market's up or down that day.
Okay, so they're more like financial advisors on a massive scale.
Exactly. They manage, they administer, and they take a fee for their services. It's a different ballgame than just straight-up investing.
Makes sense. So who are these clients? Are we talking like exclusively billionaires and hedge funds?
Nope, they've got a good mix. Private banks, investment advisors, even those big institutional investors like retirement funds. Diversification, remember?
Right. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
But if they're not all about picking stocks, what's the key ingredient in their recipe?
Technology, my friend. Remember that SWP we talked about? That's not just some internal tool. They're selling that tech. They're a player in finance and tech.
Double whammy.
Yeah.
And that's where things get interesting, right? And that's where those 10Ks, they get really juicy because every business has its, what do they call them?
Risks.
Risks, yeah. And SEI, to their credit, they don't shy away from laying them out.
Transparency. It's a good look.
So what's going to keep SEI's execs up at night?
Well, think about it. They live and breathe by those fees, right?
Tied to how well the market's doing.
Exactly. Market takes a nosedive.
Their fees take a nosedive.
Bingo.
Yeah.
It's a risk every asset manager has to deal with.
Can't escape it. What else?
Cybersecurity, big one, obviously. And SEI's 10Ks, they actually talk about a ransomware attack back in 2020, targeted one of their vendors.
Ouch.
Yeah, third-party vendor. Thankfully, SEI itself wasn't hit directly, but still shows you how vulnerable these systems are.
Constant threat, for sure. Anything else?
Talent. They're always on the hunt for the best and brightest. Got to compete in that financial tech world.
Yeah, those rock star coders and finance whizzes. Everyone wants them.
Right. But then you get to the really interesting part of these 10Ks.
Oh, spill it.
Legal stuff.
Ooh, lawsuits. Everyone loves a good lawsuit. What we got?
Couple of big ones. First one goes back a bit, the Stanford Trust Company litigation.
Stanford, like the university.
Not directly. This was about Stanford International Bank. They got caught up in a whole fraud thing. SEI, or rather their subsidiary, SEI Private Trust Company, got dragged in.
How so?
Allegations they helped sell some shady certificates of deposit.
Not good.
Nope. Multiple lawsuits. It got messy. Really highlights the kind of legal hot water a company can find itself in, even if they're not the main culprit.
Yikes. Okay, what's the other case?
This one's more recent, 2020-ish. SEI and Advent Software.
Advent Software there?
Big deal in investment management software. Seems like SEI acquired a company that was using Advent stuff.
Uh-oh.
Yep. Disagreement over software access, potential breach of contract, the whole 9 yards.
Messy.
Very messy. Lawsuits flying back and forth, different jurisdictions, high stakes for everyone involved.
Shows you, even in the tech world, things can get bogged down in the courts.
Absolutely. And these are just two examples, right? But they illustrate a point. Even the biggest companies, they have these legal battles, these hidden chapters in their story.
And suddenly those 10Ks don't seem so boring anymore, huh? They're like those disclaimers, the ones they hide at the bottom of the web page. but in plain sight this time.
And that's the point, right? Transparency. You don't get this level of detail from a company's marketing materials. These 10Ks, they give you the real deal, warts and all.
And that's what makes them so valuable for investors, for anyone who wants to understand a company beyond the surface level.
It's about taking control of your investments, empowering yourself with knowledge. Forget the hype, forget the rumors. These reports let you cut through all that.
It's like having that X-ray vision, seeing right through to the nuts and bolts of how a company operates. But it's not just about blindly absorbing the information.
Right. You got to engage that critical thinking, put on your detective hat. Don't just accept everything at face value. Dig a little deeper.
Question everything.
Question everything. Look for those inconsistencies, the things they're not saying. Cross-reference, double-check, do your own research. That's how you separate the signal from the noise.
Love that. It's like we always say, knowledge is power. And these deep dives, that's what they're all about. We're giving you the tools, the information to become a smarter, more informed investor.
Exactly, because when you understand how to read between the lines, these 10Ks, they transform from boring financial documents into
Treasure maps, leading you to.
well, maybe not buried treasure, but definitely to smarter investment decisions, and who knows, maybe some real financial success along the way.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So there you have it, our deep dive into SEI investments, courtesy of their very own 10K reports. We've explored their business model, their challenges, even those legal hurdles they've faced. But most importantly, we've shown you how to use these reports to become a more informed and confident investor.
Remember, knowledge is power. So next time you see a 10K, don't shy away. Dive in, explore, and who knows, you might be surprised by what you uncover.
And that's a wrap on another episode, folks. Until next time, happy investing.